Hey dancers, and welcome to Dance Your Life Facebook Live. I'm here with Janelle Cruz. Janelle, how are you today?
Hi, I am good. I'm so happy to be here with you, and yeah, I'm excited.
I know finally we had some technical difficulties 2 weeks ago, so I'm really glad that I actually get to talk to you. I know we've had you for other interviews, but we've never had you for this particular dance chat. So I'm really excited to talk about dance with you, and I've known you for a long time, so through dance. So, all right, let's go ahead and ask you these questions that are at first rapid fire.
Oh
All
boy. Okay, let's go.
All right, here we go. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Guam. It's in the South Pacific. It's a small island in the Marianas. It's one of the bigger islands in the Marianas Islands. And we are also a U.S. territory. So that's where I grew up.
Awesome. All right. So, what's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote, I have two. One is by Maya Angelou, and that is, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. That's one of my favorite quotes, because everyone will remember, how you felt when you were with them. They might not remember what you said or what you did, but they'll remember how they felt. And dance is so transcendent in that because we make people feel things, and it's so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. Yep. Okay. Who are your dance role models? Like who were the dance artists or anybody that you looked up to and you're like, oh, I want to do that?
Oh man. I mean, I grew up in the late 80s, 90s. It tells you a little bit about my age. But I mean, honestly, it was Madonna at first. I started singing on the coffee table with Madonna and Debbie Gibson, and just into the arts and wanting to perform. But as a dancer, of course, it was Janet. Of course, it was Michael Jackson. And yeah, those are my role models. I really loved Janet, and yeah.
Same here. How old were you when you choreographed your first dance, and who was it to?
Oh my goodness, that's a good question. Wow. I think I was okay. When I was young, my cousins and I had created a little dance group, and we were called Jammin' Relations, and we thought we were so cool. And we choreographed for our family parties, and I think it was Pump Up the Jam or something like that. Yeah, I think it was Pump Up the Jam was one of the first sorry. There's an ambulance. The first dance that we choreographed together and performed for the family.
I love it. I love that song.
I think I was 9 years old.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go into our choreography portion of the question, which is the meat of this interview. What inspired you to dance? Where did you start? And then what brought you to here?
Oh, wow. So there was obviously in Guam, there weren't too many dance companies. It's so small. There was a ballet company, and there was one company called Skip Entertainment Company. And they were a traveling group, dance competition group. And when I first joined, I was 9. I was a little bit scared and shy. I saw people kicking their faces, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go. And then 2 years later, after I was not as scared, and my cousin and I were doing our own thing, and I started getting better, just kind of on the side doing my own thing, just dancing and trying to mimic what they were doing, but in my own kind of world. I was 11. I went back, and I never stopped because I was I can do this, after I felt a little more confident. But that's where I started, was dancing with my cousins, with my family, that we were all really into dance. And then everyone joined, my brother, my cousins, me, we all joined Skip Entertainment Company, and that was the company to be a part of because they traveled internationally. I was very blessed to compete in Europe and travel around the U.S. Yeah, and it was a great experience.
Wow, that's so cool. Okay, that's so cool. Then like you're able to really do this with your family, so that's really awesome.
Yeah, and it's just my brother and I, so it was a family affair for sure.
Oh, that is so, I love it. All right, so you are into Pilates, you're a Pilates instructor. I'd like for you to give us information as far as why Pilates is so important for dancers.
Wow, yeah. I didn't have Pilates when I was younger, and I didn't have the proper training either because we didn't have the facilities or the choreographers at our disposal all the time because we were in such a small place. Like there were choreographers coming in, you know. And so the same thing with Pilates. I didn't have like a teacher until I was well over my like in my mid-20s. And I was, out here in LA auditioning, running my body to the ground as we do everything. We're like dancing, and then we're like, oh, let's try yoga and like let's work out and go, do all the things. And then I found myself in a Lululemon, my first Pilates class. It was like a mat class, and I noticed the teacher was someone that looked like me. She was Asian, and her name was Grace. And she has Grace Anatomy here. I think I don't know if it's Sherman Oaks or Valley Village. It's pretty close in the valley. Anyway, she was my first Pilates class, but I had injured my back. The reason why I started as a teacher even more was I had injured my back when I was dancing with the dance company that I'm presently with. It's called Keshet Chaim, and it's like an Israeli dance folk company. But we don't just do dance folk; we do like contemporary and hip hop and all the things. Very athletic dancing to Israeli music. But we were in Miami. We had a ton of dances, and before that show, I had done a Spartan race. And if you know the Spartan race, it's no joke, right? We did. It was just a sprint, but you're carrying, boulders, and you're climbing, over things, and you're going in the water, and you're climbing the rope, and you're ringing the bell, and all these things, right? I had done all that, had run my body down, and went straight into rehearsals, which I don't recommend you all ever to do. Don't ever do that because once I was performing, my back gave out and it was pulled, and then basically found myself backstage rolling my back out, and that is the reason. That was like kind of the epiphany for me to like really stay in tune with my body and like listen to my body and be like, man, I really need to take care of this more, And how I did that was I started rehabbing in Pilates and a little bit of yoga also. And I figured, well, and I also had been diagnosed with a autoimmune disorder. I had Graves' disease. I have Graves' disease, and so it's an autoimmune disorder, and it weakens your muscles, and you're not really supposed to do like high impact stuff, high impact workouts. Yeah. So a lower impact workout like Pilates is more beneficial for my body. And so I figured, well, if I'm doing it, I'm having to do it every day to maintain the body that I want to have, the strength and all that. Then I was like, well, I might as well be a teacher. I might as well become an instructor and do this. And so I did.
That's so great. Yeah.
But I wish I had learned about that because I know, with Joseph Pilates, who's the founder, he was working with, like big names in dance, the ballerinas back in New York, and when he first started and was rehabbing their bodies back, so it's very beneficial. Yeah, so I'm so happy that I discovered it, and I have this now a beautiful tool to have and practice and share it with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Pilates. Pilates is a great, great, great way to strengthen everything, especially if you're a dancer. So thank you for sharing that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and for dancers, it's very important to cross train.
Mm-hmm.
Very important to cross train, like because we're taught to be flexible and we're sitting in our splits.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's my alarm for 11:11. Make a wish. I set my alarms to 11:11. If you like that stuff, anyway, make a wish, everyone. So as I was saying, cross training for dancers is so important because we're taught to stay in the splits, and even like the old school way of work, stretching and pushing the kids down into their splits, and that old school way is like past, it's really not beneficial for our bodies in the long term. Mm-hmm. And so now I use Pilates, and as well as another method called sugar foot therapy, which is specifically a PT kind of training that was designed by Katie Shar and her husband. They're PTs. Okay. And Katie, I think, danced for Pink, so she was a professional dancer for Pink. And anyway, she designed this whole program called Sugar Foot Therapy, and it has to do with your sagittal plane, your frontal, and your transverse planes, if you guys know those things. So SFT stands for Sugar Foot Therapy, but it also stands for sagittal, frontal, and transverse, which is important in Pilates because we use our core and our alignment of our spine, and we move in all directions. So your spine has to move in all directions. Anyway, so that's so important. And now this sugar foot therapy is what I use more as a warm up for dancers, because it is a strength and conditioning and preventative measure that you can adapt instead of like your old warm up that you're, because it's really not a good thing to sit in your, yes, to be flexible, you're sitting in your splits, but you don't have to sit there for hours. And, there's certain things you need to strengthen and have flexibility. So you have to have that balance of both. And if you don't, there's your risk for injury.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. There's a lot of this that we're like, damn, I wish I knew.
Right, I know. And now I'm trying to educate others about like really conditioning their bodies. I presently work with a Celine Dion dancer, and she's always cross training and ballerina. But I also work with people that don't dance, so it's kind of knowing your body and kind of like looking at the imbalances and where we can strengthen and condition and build stability, because that's what Pilates is about. It's about stability. Sometimes we're so flexible, our body's out of control as dancers. We don't know how to control our bodies and like do our Batma and control it. You know what I mean? We're just like whack, whack, and it's all over. So when you have that stability and you have that core strength, you're so much more powerful and so much better in all other workouts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it helps benefit everything.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Janelle. This was a great conversation, very, very educative, and I really hope everybody, gets something out of this, because we would love, our generation would love for the next generation to take care of themselves a lot more than dancers.
Yeah, preventative. Yeah, use Pilates as a preventative measure, not the way I did it with rehab. Although if you do have an injury, Pilates is a great way to start slowly making your way back. You know what I mean? Obviously with PT and your doctor's approval that you can take, Pilates, because if you're not at that stage yet. But if, you have a recurring injury that you just have like a knee thing or whatever it is, a good way to maintain that and keep, from any chronic pain or any, flare-ups, Pilates is a great tool for that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Janelle. Do you have any shout outs before we close up?
Oh, shout out to let's see. Gosh. For dancers, I want to shout out to my Keshe Chaim dance family, because they're the ones that were always there for me, like my second family here in LA. Shout out to Kavita Rao. She's a good friend of mine, and she runs Choreography. She's looking for dancers right now. You guys, go. If you are a professional dancer and you want to work, you need to train with the best people. And Kavita is one of the best Bollywood choreographers out there. And, you know, I can tell you from experience, not just because she's my friend, but I've been in her company for over 5 years doing Bollywood and all the things. So if you want to be a well-rounded dancer, it's not just Bollywood. Just so you know, they're an entertainment company. They are looking for dancers. So shout out to Kavita. She does have that. I can probably help you with the link, because she does have some auditions coming up, and she rarely has them. So check them out if you are a professional dancer. Yes, because then there's your job. You know, you'll get entertainment gigs for weddings or events, or maybe even film and TV. She has a full gamut of things. So I think this is a great thing for you guys to take advantage of. Go and audition. There's not too many out there other than like these, you know, digital auditions, but I'm not sure if she's doing it in person. I'm hoping she does both. I don't know much about the audition process, I must say, but I know she has several dates.
Okay.
Yay. So you guys better go, because this is your chance. You know what I mean? So there's that. So shout out to those two amazing companies that I've been a part of. And yeah, my family back home, I love you. Yeah, that's it. My dog, my cat, my husband, and all the clients that I work with. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you all for listening. Yeah, go out there and be the best dancers and selves that you can be. Be your authentic self, and, you know, change lives through your movement, through your dance, tell stories. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can say.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Janelle. Yes, this was great. Thank you, everybody who's watching live, everybody who's going to be watching this again later and listening. I appreciate you all. Remember to subscribe to our Dance Your Life podcast. We have it on hold for now, but there's so many episodes that you can listen to, which Kavita is one of them too. So go ahead and listen up, and remember to stand out.